Yeah, hello there and welcome back, and let us continue with our lesson, and let's go and build a new application which will be a roll the dice game using the Flutter, SwiftUI as well as with the Jetpack Compose. So let us get started over here. So let's go to our screen over here and let's add a new folder over here, and in this folder let's create a dice, and inside this dice let's add a new file that will be of the roll the dice underscore cr screen dot the dot file, and let's create a stateful widget because we need a state. So roll the dice screen, and then let's import the material package over here, and let's make this one as a const. And over here what we need to do is let's have a scaffold with the simple app bar, and let's add the app bar. And once we have that, let's add the body over here, and with this body let's create a center widget over here, and it has a child, and let's add the column over here, and with this column we need to add a children, and I guess let's keep it over there for now. And next is let's go to our assets folder, and let's add a new folder of the dice over here, and let's grab some of the image and let's put it inside that particular folder. So I'll just grab some image and place it inside. So we have added dice 1 2 3 4 5 6, and we have one more image which is of start. So let's go down to our pubspec.yaml file, and here what we need is the we need to add that one. So assets dot the dice and the /. So that should give all of the image inside this particular folder for us. So once we have done that one, let's go and add some state over here. So first state we will need is the string of the URL, and that will be of the default from the assets, and then we have a dice slash let's say start that png file, and we will grab that one. And another one we will have an int of the let's say counter, so which will be of equals to the let's say a counter of a default of a 0. And then what we will have another one is the random number, so the random generator, right? So final random random equals to the random random, and this will be our random. And once we have that, what we will do is let's go and add an image over here. So image dot from assets, so we need the assets over here that will be from the URL that we currently have. And then what we also can set over here is we will set basically the height and the width, so we don't want to make it too large over here. So let us set up the width first of all, and width let's say of the 150, and let's say a height of the 150 pixel. So after that let's add a button over here. So elevated elevated button, and with this button let's add the child, and unpressed is the function callback, and here we need a const of the text, and let's call this one as the roll the dice, right? So once we have all of this set up, let's try to run your application. Let's go and replace this counter with the roll the dice screen over here, and let's try to rebuild it. And here we get the image to start, and with this we get a button to roll a dice. So the next step will be to, whenever we click on this button, we want to generate some random number and change this particular image over here. So for that, let's go and have a function over here. So it will be of a void, and then let's call this one as a generate a number, right? Num be a number, and inside this let's go and create our logic. And what we will do now is let's go and create the counter, and that will be of the random. And random, then we'll generate a next int over here with the max of the 7, and then we will add +1, so that should generate us the random number between 1 to the 6. And once we have that counter, and let's go ahead and have another void callback to let's say change image. So change the image over here, and let's say that will take a value of the int type of value. And let's go and create a switch statement or the switch case over here. So in this switch case, we'll have a value over here, and if the value is of the 1, then we need to generate we need to change this particular URL that we have over here. URL will be of equals to the what we have. We can just copy it from here and then just paste it below over here. It will be of the dice 1, right? And then similarly we will have to do the same concept over here. That will be of 2, and then we'll have a 3, and then we'll have this will be of a 4, and then we'll have a 5, and then we'll have a 6 over here. And let's change this one to the 2, and this one to the of the 3, and this one to be of the 4, and this one of the 5, and this one of the 6. And here we need to change the number 2, and here should be for 3 and 4, and let's have the 5, and let's have the 6. And once we are done with that, let's go and call this function from here. So change the image and pass in the counter that we have over here. And let's go down over here. So once we are on this button click, we need to set this state. So what we will call is we'll call the generate the random number from here, and I guess that should be fine. So I guess let's try to rebuild, and let's try to test it out. And now once it is running, let's go and click on the roll the dice. Okay, so now we get that particular the dice or the image is changing. Particularly you can see we generated a different image over here, but the thing is that it doesn't look great over here. So what we can do is let's go and change the color of this one. So color colors dot let's add the red accent over here, and let's try to rebuild this one over here. And now we get a better looking image over here, and let's roll the dice now, and we get number 4, right? And then we have the I guess it's generating the same kind of the number over there, and then we have a 3. So it means that the logic is particularly working, but it may not be the perfect one. And what you can also do is you can add the score over here, scoreboard, as well as the current generated number, so you can have a better look of that one. So let's go over here and let's create a int of the SEO. Let's say SCOR score. By default, let's say it's of the 0, and next have a int of let's say, okay, I guess that should be fine for now. And let's go and let's add the score over here. So for this score, we will say score, which is of equals to, we will have a counter, and that should be of the SCOR score plus the, sorry, what was that? Okay, so it should be of we will add that score, previous score plus the new counter to our score over here. So that should be fine. And what we'll do over here is let's go on to let's go over here and let's add the score over here. So inside this, let's add the one more text over here, and with this text let's have the string interpolation, and we'll call it as a score, and that score will be of the dollar score that we have, right? And once we have that, let's have another score over here, scoreboard, and let's have the current generated number. So you are on current number, right? And that you can just change that one to the what was that? It was, I guess, the counter, right? So counter that we have. Okay, so once we can let's try to rebuild this one, and we should get that score is 0 and the current number each one. And let's roll the dice and we get a 1, and that's the one image. That's perfectly fine. And we get a 2 and our score is increasing, and we have a 7. Current number is a 7, so that's not correct. So what we will do over here is, I guess we will have to make it up to the 6 over here. And let's try to rebuild this one, and let's try to test it out. So let's roll the dice again. We get a 6, and that's 6, and we get a 3 and 1 each one, and 6 is 6, and 5 we are getting a 5 over here, but the number you can see it's generating the 4 over here. And I guess I have some issue on the code, so let's go and check the image generator over here. So we have 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 and the 4, and then we have a 5. So I guess that's not correct over here. So 5 and 6 should be 6. And then let's go and try to rebuild this one, and let's try to run it one more time. 1 each one, 2 and 3 and 2 again, 4 again, and then we have a 5 that is generating the correct image, and we have a 6 and 6. Okay, I guess that should be fine now, and it should be working well over here. So I guess that's all on the Flutter side. You can just go and improve it, and I may come back and improve this, particularly the game over here, add another player over here and all of the stuff. But for now, let us just keep it as a simple, and let's move on to the our SwiftUI project over there. And once you open the SwiftUI project over here, let's go to the assets first, and let's add our image over here. So what I will do is I'll create a new image set over here, and let's call this one as a counter 1. And what we need is we need some more, so let's add a new image set that will be of the counter 2, and then we'll have one more. We need a total 6, so that should be of a counter that will be of the 3, right? And then we'll have the new image set of the counter 4, and then we'll have one more that will be of the counter 5, and then we'll have one more which will be of the counter 6, and let's have one more image set that will be of the start, and let's add our image over here. So let me just drag the image over there, so that will be of the start. So let just add the 1x over here, and on the counter 1 let me just keep the name over here. So I guess it should not be a counter, so I guess it should be of the so I guess let's just keep it as a counter for now. So it should be actually a dice. So the next will be of our, let me just grab it from here and just go to the counter 2, and let's change that one over here. And number 3, let's go and change that one over here. And number 4, let's drag that number 4 over here, and we have a number 5. Let's go and drag that one. Okay, so it's not selected over there, so number 5 is over here, and let me drag that number 5 and paste it over here, and this should be of the number 6. So let's add it over here. I think let's just keep it as a counter, or you can just change it as a dice. So let's just keep it as a counter for now. And let's go and create a new group over here, and let's call this one as the dice. And with this let's create a new file over here, and let's have the SwiftUI view, and let's click on next. And over here let's give the role the dice view over here. And once you create that one, that should be fine. And let's try to rebuild so we get the side view over here. And we will have first of all a vertical stack over here, and with this vertical stack let's just add this particular text over here. And then with this text let's add this one as the current. So what we need is a current score, so SCOR score, and then we need the current value over here, right? So let's make this one as the current number or something. That's what we called previously. So we got two over there, and next is we need a image over here, right? And with this image what we will have to pass in is the image value that we have. And let's set this one over here. And then next is we need a button, so I need the label and the action. And the label let's set as a text for now, and then the text let's set this one to something like roll the dice. So I guess that should be fine. And here with the image we need to select one image, and by default let's add the image of the star that we have, and it's too big over there, so let's make it as a resizable over here. And then we will add a frame, dot the frame, frame frame, and with this frame we can add the width over here, and let's say 150, and then we will have the height over here of the 150. So I guess that should be fine. And the next is let's create a state over here, so that state will be of what we need as a add state, and that state variable of the var. And what we need is the URL that will be of the default URL, or the default image that we'll have is the start, right? And then next we will have add the state over here, state, and that will be of the var. We will need a counter over here, and then the counter, let's say by default each of the 0 over here. And I guess that should be fine. And the next step is that what we need is the counter over here. So counter value that we need to provide over here, and then the current okay, so we need a score also, so let's go and have one more over here that will be of the SCOR score, and this should be of the score actually, and this one should be of our counter that we generate, right? So both of them, the current value each of the 0 over here. And let's go and create a function, I guess below somewhere here, and let's create a function, and that function name, let's create a generate a number, and with this let's go and generate a number that will be of our counter that we have over here, will be equals to int dot the it should be int dot the random, and in the range we will give from 1 to the 1 to will give us 6. So I guess that should generate a number from 1 to 6. And on the button click we will just call the counter over here, and generate this particular number. So we need to call this function, and let's go and set it over here, and let's try to test it out. And now you can see when we click on it, it's going to change that particular number, right? So we get a maximum value of 6 and the minimum value each of the 1. That's working perfectly. And let's add the one more function below this one. So a function, and that will be of the change the image that we have. And over here, let's go and create the switch, SWITCH switch over here. And I guess that should be of a switch statement. And with this, we'll give a value of our counter that we have, right? And if the counter is of the 1, and then we want to do something, right? So let's go and change this one to over here. We need to update the URL over here, and that will be of equals to the new image that we have. So it should be of a counter 1. And then what we will do is let's copy this one from here, and let's go and paste it below over here. And then we need some more over here, so let's go and add that one. This should be of a 3, and then 4, and then 5, right? And then we need a one more, so that should be of a 6. So let's change the number of a 2, and this one should be of the 2, and here it's of a 3, and this one should be of the 3, and this one is of the 4, and this one should be of the 4 too, and this one is of the 5. Then we'll change this one to the 5, and this one is of the 6, and we'll change it to the 6 over here. And the default one, we'll just go and say something like the print over here, and we'll just say that no implement implementation, right? I guess that should be fine over here. And once we are done, so here we will call that the change the image function. So whenever we generate a random number over there. And then what we also need to do is we also need to increase the scoreboard for our, so scoreboard is of the score that we have plus the counter that we have, right? And let's try to test it out. So we have a number, but you can see that the score and the number is changing, but our this particularly image is not changing because we haven't set up the image over here that will be of the URL that we have. And now let's try to test it out. So now we are getting that image basically, but because of the background it's not visible over here. So let's try to change the color of this particular image over here. And I think the most easy way to fix this particular issue, maybe we can just use a color property over here, color multiply, I guess, and then we'll just change this one to the red color. And okay, so now we get a red color over here, and let's try to change this one. Okay, so we get a red color over here, and I guess that should be fine. So now we get the 5 and 5, and then we get again 5 and 4 and 2 and 5 again, and then 1 and then 6. Okay, I guess that's working fine over here. So we have created a simple roll the dice over here. You can improve this one, but let's keep it as simple for now, and let's move on to our Jetpack Compose project over there. And in our Jetpack Compose, let's go and create a new directory over here. So let me go and add a new package, and let's call this one as dice. And let's have a new Kotlin file over here. So let's select that one as the roll the dice, and let's go and have, I guess let's copy it from our previous counter app over here. So let's have all of this copy from here, so we don't have to rewrite all of this stuff. And then we'll just go and create add a composable function, it should be of add composi composable function, and then we'll have a roll the dice, right? And here let's go and paste it all of our that previously. So what we need over here is we don't need that multiple buttons, so we just need a one button over here. And the first is what we need is we need to show this particularly the text that will be of the scoreboard. So let's have a score, and then we will have one more text below this one that will be of the current counter that we have, right? And then what we need is, so we need to generate some state over here. So for this state, let's have a counter, and then we'll have one more of another one which will be of the let's say this one SCOR score, and then we'll need one more for our image. So for the image view, I guess we already have some image view already created. So let's grab this image view instead of just going and rewriting it again. I'll just copy this one to our roll the dice game over here, and let's paste it below over here. And with this, let's try to arrange it properly over here. So we don't need to have this circular shape. I guess rectangle shape would be better over here. So let's just save that one, and let's change this one to 150 by 150 dp over here. And then what we need is, we don't have the drawable, so what we need is r.drawable.image1, right? So drawable. So currently we don't have, we need to import that drawable over here. Let's try to see the import over here. So I guess it should be, we should import the r over here. So let's go and paste it below over here. And with this base package dot the r, I need to import not the package, so it should be of the import over here. And I guess that should fix that particular issue. So once we fix that particular issue, what we need to do is this one is, we need to change roll the dice over here, and that we need to increase the counter. We need to increase the counter. We need to generate a random number over here. And then the next thing is that what we need is, let's go and add the image first of all over here. So let's go and grab our image from here, and let me grab all of my images that I have previously copied. So let me just grab it over here, and let's paste it in the driver folder. Just refactor it. So I guess I can't copy it at the one time, so let me just drag it by one, just refactor it. So I guess it's cannot move. Okay, so I guess it's not able to move it, so I need to copy and paste this, all of this value. So let's just try to copy this one from here. I'll try to copy this one from here, and let's try to paste it out over here, and I'll put it inside the driver folder. So I guess that should be fine. So now we have all of the image, and next is we need to generate a counter over here, and then we need to increment our value of the score as well as with the counter. So let's go over here and let's generate a new random number over here first of all. So that will be of the counter that we have, which will be of equals to, we need to have a number generated from, let's say, 1 to the 6, and that will be of the random over here. So that should generate us the random number over here, and it keeps giving me some error over here, and that should be, I guess it should be of the value that we have over here. Okay, so that should be okay. Now once we have that, let's go and set the scoreboard that we have, which is of score dot the value that we have, which will be of equals to, what we need is the current value of the score that we have, and then plus the counter that we have generated, right? So that should give us the current score and the counter. So next is we need to change the image over here. So what we'll do over here is, let's go and create a function. So that should generate or change the image for us. I guess let's create a function over here, and that will be of the change the image over here. And with this change image, I guess CHANG change the image over here. And now what we need is we need to pass in the value over here. So I'll just say number that we get in over here, and that will be of the type is of the int that we are getting in, right? And then I'll just change it to value, so value over here. And then we'll have a switch condition. So in the Kotlin we will use a when condition. When we have this particular value that we are getting over here, then what we want to do for this one, so when we get the value of the 1, we want to generate a new number or new image over here. So currently we don't have that state over here, so let's go and have a new state over here for that one. So let's go and set this one as the URL over here, and let's go and set that particular value of the URL. Currently we can get that URL over here, so we have to add it over here. I guess either we can pass it the state over here, or what we can do is I think I'll just copy it over here and paste it over here. So when the this particular I will just change this one over here. So when the counter that the value that we have, and with this counter value each of the 1, and then I'll just go and change the value of the URL that we have. URL dot the value should be of equals to the r.driver, and I'll just change that one over here to the we have a dice1 over here, right? Sorry, it should be of the dot the dice1. And similarly we'll do the same thing for the what we have is a 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's change this one over here. So this should be of a 2, and this one should be of a 3, and this one should be of the 4, and this one should be of a 5, and this one should be of a 6 over here. And let's change the image to the 2, 3, and then we have a 4, and then we have a 5, and then we will have a 6 over here. So that should change all of the image that we have over here. And let's remove this one. So currently we don't need this particular function. And then let's go on to the top over here. So on the image, what we need is this particular value that we have over here. So what we have is the URL. So let's grab this URL and just paste it over here. And it says that it requires int URL dot the value, so that should be fine. And then the default value for this one, we guess we can set some default value for that one too. So let's try to run first of all. So let's try to run this app, and let's see if we get any error. And I need to change this particular run app over here to the what we have is our roll the dice over here. All right, so roll the dice, and let's try to rebuild it. Let us also set the default state of that particular value. So I'll just set it to the state should be of the default that I will set it as a start that we have, and I guess that should be fine. So let's try to rerun our application over here, and let's go to the application. Okay, so we get that particular image over here, and now once we roll the dice, okay, so we are getting the image, and that value is changing over here. And the main thing is that we don't have this particular color over here. So let's go and try to add the color over here. So I'll just say background maybe. So let's try to add the background color. So this yellow color dot, let's say a red over here. And let's try to rerun it one more time, and let's try to test it out over here. And once we are there, so we get a color over there. And another thing is that it's working fine, only the score is not working correctly. So let's go back and let's try to check what went wrong with our score over here. And look like the logic is correct over here. And let's go and take a look on our value that we are setting. Okay, so that is the issue. So we have to set up the score over here instead of the counter. And let's try to rebuild it one more time. And let's go back to our application over here and let's try to test it out. Okay, so it's increasing and we get a roll the dice over here. So we are rolling the dice and the number is increasing, and maybe it's a too big number, so I'm not sure that the logic that we are doing is correctly working. So okay, so I have a +1 more, so I can remove this one from here, so that should be okay. So let's try to rebuild it one more time, and let's try to test it out over here. So let's try to roll it. Okay, so now it's look fine. So I guess that's all for this lesson. We created a roll the dice over here with the Jetpack Compose, SwiftUI, as well as with the Flutter. And you can always go and improve this application. You can add another player, right? So 2 players, so they can play it. And we'll meet up in the next lecture. And until then, have a great day.